My goal today is to help those out that have not used it and to explain some things that I really do use a lot of. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and start with MyLabs Plus. Let me go ahead and go through a couple of things with you about Blackboard and MyLabs Plus. And I don't think y'all are running into any problems because y'all are still using the old book, where the 110 is having problems because they're using the new book, which I said that was, shouldn't do that, but anyway. All right, let me go to, no, I want to go to Blackboard. Let me go to Blackboard, sorry. Thought I had it already pulled up. Guess not. Okay, there it is. And y'all are Math 111 something something something. I guess this 7. I guess 7.
7. I think it's 7.
Yep. And everybody remember to go to the announcements and read the announcements. I'm having to go over this a couple of days because remember there's several of y'all that are adding today. Some of y'all haven't been to class Monday. Okay, there is or Tuesday or whatever. There is a video on going over Tuesday's class, and I'll post this video today. But I do not use Blackboard. There are no assignments on Blackboard. I do all my homework and tests on MyLabs Plus. So I have to go over that at least 2 or 3 times a semester because somebody's going to try and search all day for, I don't even want to go there. I don't feel like it today. I'm in a bad mood. I'm bitchy. So click on MyLabs Plus. And if you'll notice, it's just going to spin. I'm glad it's doing it because yesterday I couldn't get it to do this. But some of y'all may run into this problem. And I'm trying to go through all my classes and make sure I cover this. But if you notice, there is a button, a shield in the top right-hand corner. Now, I'm going to minimize this right quick because it'll still be spinning. It spins forever. So I'm going to just draw a little circle around it so that way you'll see it. There we go. And a little I'm going to highlight it. And that's right there. Everybody see that little shield? That little shield basically means that you need to do something. So you right click on it and you hit load unsaved script. So if you have a notebook, you might want to write that down. Right click on the shield, load unsaved scripts. And when you do that, it should go straight to MyLabs Plus, and then you can put in your access code. Now once you have put in your access code, and listen to me on this, for all of you that are attending today and wasn't here Tuesday, after you are on MyLabs Plus, after you have typed in your access code, everybody with me? You can use this website. And bypass Blackboard. You type in your username, which in my case would be the first part of my Tri-County Tech email address, and your what? Your T number if you've never set the password for MyLabs Plus. If you have previously set a password in Math 103 or Math 110 or Math 102, well, they use something else. If you've previously set a password, use that password. So I'm going to put /previous password. Okay? And you can go put that on your desktop, and you can go from your desktop. For some reason, Tri-County Tech wants to force every student to go through Blackboard. What do I think? I think it's a job justification thing. Okay? I think somebody wants to make sure that the numbers are there to make sure that Blackboard is used, which all the publishers now are going to Blackboard-driven supplements like this, so I really don't see the use in Blackboard, but some people are still using overhead projectors, VCRs, and Blackboards. So I guess we still need to have those for those T-Rexes. But anyway, this is basically how you bypass Blackboard. Why do you need to bypass Blackboard? Because half the time it's what? Down. And if it's down, you can't get to MyLabs Plus. So that's how you get to MyLabs Plus. All right. So again, this is not what you type in. You type in your. I have to put this because somebody will try. I typed in H. McClure and it wouldn't work. Oh, your username. Yeah, and these people procreate and have driver's license. Okay. Remember, use your username. Capiche? Now, there's one other thing that's going to pop up. And I might have told you this. I can't remember what I've told everybody. So I figure after the first week, I've told y'all all what I needed to tell you. So I may be going over some stuff over. Okay? If I am, just sit there and just be quiet. All right? Because y'all are too loud anyway. All y'all. There might be a little piece of paper with an X right there. Have any of you seen that? If you see that, right-click on it and allow what? Allow pop-ups. That's basically just going to let the videos work. Pop-ups. I can't spell. There we go. Allow pop-ups. So you need to write those two things down. You need to write down, what was the first one? Allow content or unsafe content and the unsafe scripts. And the second one is the red X to allow pop-ups. Has anybody seen any other problems? Okay, one other thing I need to cover. If you have had problems, this is something that we found out last in Math 110. You pull up MyLabs Plus and things are missing. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say that you pull up MyLabs Plus and you pull up Homework 1.1 and nothing shows up. Or you pull up the access code to type in the access buy now, and the buy now is not there. If that happens, try using one of the three engines or browsers. Okay? Switch. Sometimes it triggers something. I don't know if it's in MyLabs Plus or what. I think it's in MyLabs Plus. Sometimes it triggers something and then it will show up automatically. It's like magic. 1 minute, this happened this morning. Okay, I was helping a student in the lab about 9 o'clock. She texted me and said, I can't get in. I said, I'll be up there at 9 o'clock. Meet me in the lab. We met in the lab. This is no joke. We pulled up on Google Chrome. We pulled up the Blackboard and went over through the bridge, the link, and the buy now didn't show up. We switched over to Firefox, did the same thing. It didn't show up. Went over to Internet Explorer, which never works with anything. Okay, you got that? Internet Explorer is the least one you use, and it showed up. Then we went back to, and I said, I want to see something. Then after we went through an internet, it said buy now. It had the three. It had access code, buy now, and what? Buy later? Pay later. Okay, it had all three of those. None of them had. The only one it had before was access code. Didn't have buy now, and it didn't have pay later. It didn't have those. And then I said, okay, now that you went through Internet Explorer, close out Chrome and close out Firefox. Go back in and see if it comes up. She went back in both of them, did the same thing, and both of them showed up. Now, that happened this morning. Now, I don't know. Some of you computer people, to me, it's something being triggered. I don't know if it's cookies or what, but it sounds like to me a cookie is being triggered or something is being triggered or put in or taken out, and it's letting you come up. So when you see something missing or you see something that isn't right, change the browser or then change back. And if that don't work, you need to call the 188 number because I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay? Now, I have never seen problems like I've seen with the 110 course, but that's not really their fault. I think it's more of our fault because we shouldn't have changed horses in midstream. We should have waited until spring to change both books with Math 111, 110 and 111. but that's just me. I just feel like you don't change horses in midstream. You need to wait. But anyway, any questions? Has anybody got any questions or had any problems that they want to let me know about that they fixed? Because I need to know if any weird things have happened and you fixed it or you saw a solution. Anything?
When I went on, it was already logged in. Like, I didn't have to put an access code.
Okay, be careful there. When that happens, hit. Okay, the question was, did y'all hear her?
No.
She said that when she goes to the link, it takes her directly to this page right here, and she didn't have to type in access code. Be careful, because I don't know what's going on there, but in 21 days, that ain't going to happen. What you need to do is go to the home, let's see, go to my courses. Oh, I just saw it, course home. Let me go back. I'll show you what to hit. I'm looking for 111 now. There's. If you hit the course home, I see course home right here, it should take you back to that access screen, access code. Now, I'm a teacher, so it probably is not going to do that. But for you, if you are not registered in, if you have not typed an access code, hit course home, and it will take you back to the access code because you're not really a student yet. Okay? Does everybody understand that? If you have not typed in an access code yet, and when you go to the link on My Labs Plus, or what is it called, Blackboard, and it sends you directly to this page, then you're on the 21-day or the 14-day trial period. I don't know how it's doing that, but what you need to do is when you get to this page, hit course home, and it will kick you back out, and it should say access code, buy now, or pay later, or whatever. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Anybody else running into anything funny? Okay. Now, how many of you, anybody here wasn't here Tuesday? About Pendleton or Easley? Everybody's here that was here Tuesday? Okay. In case you wasn't here and you added the course, instead of getting an email, just get on to Access, and there's the emails, there's the syllabus with the handouts. I'm also showing you that as a student that was here Tuesday, so you won't say you didn't get them. There they are. The other things we're going to cover today, we're going to cover homework. Now, what do you think the homework button represents?
Homework.
Oh, y'all are so talented.
Thank you. I tried.
Oh.
You'd be surprised on how many students write me an email that say, I can't find the homework. Now, again, you need to make sure, a lot of the students ask me, well, Hubert, we haven't started, when do we start the homework? When I start teaching. Simple as that. But you do need to start working on these two. You need to start working on the orientation, and you need to work on the algebra review. I will take questions on the algebra review. I expect questions from the algebra review. I'm going to do this, and I'll ask some of you Pendleton people, since y'all are so loud, and Easley, since y'all are so loud.
Yeah.
How many of you have not taken algebra in the last year here at the Anderson campus? Okay, the last semester.
Right.
You took it last semester, algebra?
Well, I took from
I'd say last semester.
Okay, last semester.
Take it out.
Okay, what about a year?
Oh.
You hadn't taken it in a year?
I took it
Last spring. So you probably need some refreshing. All right. How about you in Pendleton and Easley? How many of you have not been in an algebra course in a year? Okay, that's your homework right there. All right. Let me tell you some things you need to really make sure you know how to do. Make sure you know how to factor. Make sure you know how to do reverse FOIL. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Make sure you know how to do exponential rules. Make sure you know how to do logarithms. Those are the 4 things that they're probably going to hit in that algebra review. Okay? Make sure you start on those. Send me questions. What do you mean, send me questions? You haven't covered that. That's what we're fixing to cover. All right, so you hit the algebra refresher. And I'm just going to pick one. I wish it was a simple math question. Somebody have a question?
Just want to make sure I have those last two out of the four.
Last what?
Out of the four things you said to make sure you hit.
Oh,
Last
okay,
two.
yeah, okay. I thought you were asking a question. Okay, all right. I don't want that one because that's too complicated. I just want something simple. Okay, factor by grouping. Okay, there's one right there. All right, now this question right here, and you don't have to get crazy and write notes and all that. We're not talking math right now. We're just talking MyLabs Plus. If you look over here on the right-hand side, well, first of all, let me just go through and ask this. How many people at the Pendleton campus have used MyLabs Plus before? Raise your hands. High. And somebody on the right-hand side of the room say something so I can see on the right-hand side.
Hello. Yo. Hello.
Okay, so it looks like, okay, two guys on the left, on my left, on your right, in the orange striped shirt and the Los Angeles shirt. Y'all never had MyLabs Plus?
I haven't had it before. No.
Okay, and the guy on the right that's sitting up toward the camera, he hasn't had it either, right? I mean, on the other side of the table, on the left side of the table.
No.
Okay, say it again. The camera's not switching. You got to speak up.
No, sir.
Okay, it still didn't switch. Okay, what about the guy in the blue shirt beside you? I didn't see his hand.
No, sir.
Okay, so there's 4 people out of 12 right there that hasn't had it. Easily. How many of you have used MyLabs Plus before? Okay, guy on the right, and how many more are up toward the camera? I can't see.
Us.
Just 4?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we got 6 people out of 20. How many of y'all have used MyLabs Plus? All of you, except for one. Okay. I'm just curious. The 4 at Pendleton, the LA and the orange shirt, the blue shirt, and the guy beside the camera. Have you been at another school or what that you haven't used MyLabs Plus? Just tell me. Just curious.
Talking to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
My school doesn't use my plus.
Okay. Well, are you out of high school or what? I don't know. I can't
I'm out of
tell.
high school.
Okay. What about you in the Los Angeles shirt?
No, we didn't use it. I'm out of high school too.
Okay, so y'all are right out of high school. Okay, so most of my students, the reason I say that is a lot of my students that I teach come right out of Math 110. Okay, how many of you have come out of Math 110? Okay, 3 or 4 here. You see, that's why I'm asking. I'm asking to see. All right. What about the blue shirt and the one beside you in the Clemson shirt? I'm sorry, Clemson shirt. Well, where did y'all take your last math class?
High school.
High school.
Okay. And everybody at the Easley campus, y'all have Math 110?
Yes.
I'm right out of high school, so this is my first year in actual college.
But you haven't had, okay, so there's about 6 or 7. Okay, and that's why I'm asking, because some of y'all, especially I see a lot of Qs at the Pendleton campus. What is a Q? Anybody know what a Q is? It's a facial expression or bodily expression that you're bored out of your skull, okay? And there's about 3 or 4 of y'all at the Pendleton campus that I'm looking at, and y'all are looking like that y'all are about to drop over dead, okay? Remember, you don't have to be in class. You can stay at home if you want to. But anyway, I'm going over this not for the people that already know how to use it, but for the people that don't know. And if I don't teach the people that don't know, they're going to be asking a lot of questions and taking up time. So I'm kind of investing in this first week so I won't have to stop when we get into the math, okay? So bear with me for those that invented my math lab and that already have used it, okay? There's 2 different distinctions there, okay? People that have already used it, they usually keep their mouth shut. The people that invented it try to tell me how to use it. All right, so here we go. We got question help. I want you to write those down right quick. There are several of them. And leave some space between the lines, especially for those that have never taken it before or never used MyLabs Plus before. Because you're going to write some things down. Also leave some space down at the end because we're going to add a video and we're going to add what do they call these things? An animation, which is a graphics tutorial basically. Help me solve this. When you click on Help Me Solve This, you're clicking on what's called a guided, write this down, a guided tutorial. Can anybody in here tell me what a guided tutorial is?
Something that it gives you
Take
the
you
answers,
step by
but
step,
it
right?
tells you step by step
And it asks what?
a different question.
It asks questions while you're doing it. A guided tutorial is the learning style of a guided lecture, okay? Which if you're an education major, you're going to hear that a lot, all right? A guided lecture is where a teacher lectures or tutors in this guided tutorial, but also does not just assume that you know the material, but you are extracting information from the student as you're teaching it. So the guided tutorial is going to be used with asking questions. Who would use the guided tutorial? Someone using the guided tutorial is someone that has forgotten it 100% or has never seen the material. Okay, write that down. Have forgotten it or have never seen it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you took algebra, let's say you took pre-algebra and algebra 1 in the 7th and 8th grade, and then you were bumped into geometry, and then your advisor said, you don't need to take calculus or algebra 2 or pre-calculus. You need to get into that worthless course. I'm sorry. Statistics. Probability and statistics. I'm sorry. I'm an engineering person. I was an engineering person, so, I teach the Math 120. It's not worthless. It's good for humanities and things like that. But anyway, the whole purpose is they didn't give you the pre-calculus or the algebra 2. So the last algebra you took and completed, you took back in the what? 8th, 9th, 10th grade. That means you sat on it for 2 or 3 years. You have forgotten it, okay? Unless you've got the retention skills of an elephant, then you have forgotten it. And that's why you would use the guided lecture. Okay, now, let me explain to you a little bit about the background of MyLabs Plus. And I usually don't do this, okay? When I get into math, we take off, okay? So some of you are giving me those cues that you're bored to death. Just sit this one out. Because when we get on math, I'm going to go fast as you want me to go, all right? But the reason we have MyLabs Plus is when I came aboard back in 95, I was a computer-driven teacher. And I wanted to have computers in the classroom. So I begged and begged and begged to get 2 computers into what we call the math lab, which is now on the 3rd floor of Oconee Hall. And it was in Pickens Hall at that time. And I begged, and I got these 2 raggedy computers that basically would work. And you had to use the 3.5 disc, and it was called Interact Math. But the whole purpose behind the technology back then, it was to use these things right here, this question help in an independent setting, which means a person studying at their own pace. But then it evolved into the classroom. And these questions right here, these things right here, they're not to substitute for the teacher. They may be in an independent setting, which the teacher is still in there. But they are used so the student that has had pre-algebra 5 years ago or Math 101 5 years ago can use these reinforcements to remember how to do the material while they are doing homework. That's what it's for. All right? We're going to get to me in just a minute. But right now, these are to help you with homework. So what I want you to write beside the help me solve this, guided tutorial, ask questions, forgotten, or never seen. Everybody got that? Because a lot of you have used MyLabs Plus and have no idea what these are used for. You just click on it when you need help. You don't even know if you're clicking on the right one or not. All right? Next one is view an example. That's for a lot of guys. Just show me how to do it. I don't need any directions. Just show me how to do it. Where are my females? Okay, you're going to have a boyfriend or a husband one day, and you're going to be putting together the toys for Christmas. And did I tell you this story?
No.
And you're going to be putting and the wife is going to come down and go, what are all these parts? And the husband or the boyfriend, what do they say? Oh, they're extra. Meanwhile, Bobby gets up in the morning, drives the dadgum go-kart down the road, and the wheel falls off and he runs in the ditch. Okay? Guys have to use directions. Make sure you know that, females, because the guys, they'll get you lost and you'll be riding around in circles. If it wasn't for GPS, guys get people lost because they know everything. All right, help me solve the example. What's the difference between this and help me solve this? Anybody want to take a guess?
The examples.
Straight through, show me how to do it. Write that down. Straight through, show me how to do it. No questions asked. Who uses this? This is the most used button because that's being rhetorical. Okay? All right? I was being rhetorical. You don't have to raise your hand. All right. The reason people use this and the reason this is most used is because most people have had Math 101, Math 102, Math 110, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, or pre-calculus. Okay? Now, the Easley campus, the camera is focused on the guy in the black, the guy that didn't take it. What was the last algebra class you took? What was the name of it?
Algebra 2.
See? Okay? He saw it. He would be using this because he would be using whatever it's called. I can't remember. What is it called? Explain. What is it called?
View an example.
View an example. He would use view an example because he still remembers it. Was it last semester you took Algebra 2 or like last year?
I mean, it was last school year, but it was pretty much last semester.
Okay. Well, you would be using that. Or somebody that took Math 110 last semester. You'd be using that because you can't exactly remember if you're supposed to factor out a 3 first. You can. You know, that kind of thing. All right? And that's the person that goes, oh, yeah, I remember doing this in Math 110. That's what you're going to be hitting. All right? Textbook. This is for you readers. This is for the people that read East of Eden in like a day or War and Peace in a day. I know people that I have a good friend, and she reads like a book a day. And I'm like, I can't read one page and I fall asleep. I read one page of the funny paper and I fall asleep. I don't know what it is about reading. I just fall asleep whenever I read. Anybody like that?
I like reading.
Anybody?
I really enjoy reading. I enjoy reading.
No, I didn't say enjoy it. I said fall asleep when you read it.
Oh, I mean,
Anybody at Penalty Campus, y'all don't talk, I know, but does anybody fall asleep when they read?
Hold up. Yeah.
yes.
Thank you for interaction. I appreciate it.
If it's a chemistry book, I will.
Oh, gosh.
Depends on what the subject is.
Well, anyway, it's not going to come up anyway, so you can't read it. So those people that like to read, you can forget it. You may your SOL. Okay, you have to do. Oh, I know why it didn't do it. Why didn't it do it? It didn't do it because you didn't hit the little red X. Up here, there should be a little red X that shows up. Well, it don't show up.
Maybe the lock on the very far left. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to see why it's not coming up. It's not coming up.
I have no idea.
It's the Russians. Blame it on the Russians.
Yeah, definitely there.
It's definitely the Russians. All right, we'll move on down to Ask My Instructor. The most important, that's what happens when you can't do the first 3 and you still can't get past the problem. What else? Okay, so put down beside Ask My Instructor, especially those that haven't used it, last resort.
Oh, okay.
Challenge. Challenge. What do you mean challenge? Well, I keep putting in 0.75 and it keeps saying 3/4 is the answer. Send it to me. My answer is right. Theirs is wrong. Send it to me. Any question, write this down beside Ask My Instructor. Any question or concern with a question, send it to me. Now this is where I get into the ones that really irritate me. I got a homework question. Okay, what? Did you send it in? No. Okay. You didn't send it in. Okay, hold on. Didn't send it in. So I got to go look for it. No, I'm not going to go look for it. You send it to me in next class, I'll go over it. Why do I not go and look for it? Because that takes what? That takes time. And who does that take it from? Me or you? It takes it from y'all. It takes the time so if you can't hit 2 buttons, I'm going to show it to you. Ask My Instructor. And here you can explain. You can say, Hubert, I think I got this problem right. I want the points for it, blah, 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 blah. Why can't I move it up? Hold on. Should be able to move it up. There we go. Okay. I want points for this 0.5 answer, and it says 1/2. Okay? It may be something as simple as that, or it may be something where you think there's an error with the problem. How many of you have run into that with MyLabs Plus? Anybody? Okay. Send it to me. Send it to me, and I will go over it in class, and we will all look at it if it's an error. If it's a problem that you just don't understand the problem, I'll go over it in class. Or is it a challenge question? I'll go over it after class with you and give you the points if warranted. What was your question?
How many times can you attempt a problem?
I do it unlimited because the best way to learn is to. Now, some of these teachers, they got issues, okay? And they 3 times, and you can't do it more than 3 times. I disagree with that 150%. Okay? Because what's the only way to learn? Trial and what?
Error.
You can't have trial and error with 3 attempts. Now, I am responsible for 3 courses. 110, 111, and one other course we don't teach. Okay? I set up the homework for 110 and 111, so you should have unlimited answers. If you don't, let me know and I will switch it. Because sometimes these teachers, they get in there and they set it to 3. Now, I know in 120, the teacher that's in charge of 120 sets it to 3. And I have to go in there and reset it. Okay? So let me know if you don't get that. Let me know if you can't print the homework. Let me know anything like that. Now, this button, Ask My Instructor, is very important to everybody, including me. Why is this such an important button for me and the class? Feedback and interaction. Okay? It's important for the teacher because this gauges the speed of the class. Why? Well, you're going to send it to me, and when you hit send, it's going to send it, and I go to my handy-dandy email. Move this out of the way. Nope. Got to pull it back up again. See, I use my email in class. I'm probably the only teacher on any of the campuses that do that, so I'm in the minority. So the timeout set on this ETC is like 15 seconds. So hopefully by the year 2900, Tri-County Tech will be up with technology, and hopefully they'll put a 30-minute logout time on it. But anyway, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be sarcastic. I go to my 111. It's not in here, so I got to put a 111. It's supposed to be in there. It probably sent it to the 110. Let me check the 110. It sent it to one of them. I don't have a class for y'all.
It just means we're special. It's all right.
Yeah, y'all are a special class. I don't see the 111. It hasn't sent it yet. Well, anyway, it shows up eventually. And I don't know why it didn't show up. It's probably trying to find my 111 folder. Yeah, I don't see it. I didn't put that there. I don't have unwanted stuff. Let's see. Junk. I guess no junk. Reckon it went to junk? No.
Teacher's Day.
Okay, I don't know where it went, but usually it comes right to my folder. I got to get a 111 folder set up, and it comes to my folder, and there's one I sent this morning or yesterday, and I don't know why it's not showing up. It should show up in the inbox, but it's not. It's probably trying to find a 111 folder. That's why it hasn't showed up yet. But anyway, I'll get a 111 folder set up, and we'll take care of that. How many has had me before? Anybody at the Pendleton or Easley campus had me? All right. Did you have me Did you have me online or did you have me in class? Pendleton campus. Okay, I don't do it online, but I didn't I send y'all virtual office hours?
Yes.
I did videos. They would send me a question and I would do videos and post it on YouTube. So, you can't say I don't try. Anybody in here had me? I know you had me. Did we do this in your class? Questions. Okay. Yeah. You remember? Anybody else? You remember? All right. So I do it. For those of you that don't think I do it because I don't have a Math 111 folder, I do it. Okay? Now, let me check one other thing right quick and show you how to use the videos, or why would you use the videos. Some of you are visual learners. Again, some of our guys, just show me how to do it. Okay? Let's go ahead and talk about the study plan. Study plan is for extra problems. Write that down. When you do study plan, that means you're doing extra problems that do not count numerically to your grade. But the more problems you do, the more it will help you. Okay? So if you want to do extra problems that are not in the homework, you go to study plan. And you can find study plan through chapter contents. Okay? I'm not going to say anything, but please put your phones up or go out in the hallway if you need to text somebody. I don't need to go through that, but that is considered a shot across the bow. Okay? Y'all got that easily in Anderson and Pendleton? Y'all got that?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. If it is not an emergency and you don't go out in the hallway, then you don't need to be texting in my class, especially when I'm talking, because that's rude. Think if you were asking me a question and I started texting while you were asking me a question. What would you think?
Rude.
Yeah, you would think rude, but it's okay to do it when I'm talking. No, it's not. It's called a double standard. All right, it's still doing this, so I'm not going to worry about that. Oh my gosh, y'all supposed to have a fit. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Okay.
That's a good song, man.
Study plan right there. And look at here, you got film strips. For those that don't know what a film strip is, that's what that is. It's a kind of a film strip. It's old, but that means you got a video on this one. All right? So you hit the video, or you hit the question, and there is the video right there. Those are your visual learners. Those are the people that, I don't want to read anything, just show me how to do it. And that's where it is right there. And some of the times you have to go up here, and it's going to work.
What we're going to do now is use a calculator to approximate.
And it shows you how to do it. Now this is called a video. This is when you have the voice with the teacher or the tutor or the person. Okay, and they're either using a whiteboard, they're using a document camera, or they're using something. Okay? If you want a computer graphic or what's called an animation, you go over to these pink icons, little pink icons that look like a play button or a rewind button. I don't know what it is. And you go to the question help, and there's the animation. The animation is computer graphics.
And ordered pairs.
There it goes.
Let's see how to plot
another visual learner.
Or ordered pairs on
so
rectangular coordinates.
I'm not showing you how not to do my job. I'm showing you what to use when you suck at the homework, okay? Or when you can't do the homework. One of the two. So make sure you're able to use these tools. That's how to get to, and that's how you use the study plan. And you will have videos and graphics on the homework, depending on which ones I pick. Okay, here's a big question. What do you think grade book is for?
Your grade.
2 or 3. Every semester I get 2 or 3 emails at the end of the final exams. I just finished my final exam. Where is my grade? Or what is my grade? Do I reply? No. Because I'm showing you this right now. Show overall score. Write that down beside grade book. Because there's 2 buttons that you need to be aware of when you're trying to find your grade in my class. One of them is show overall score. You hit show overall score, and that shows you your score for this semester.
No way.
Okay? It'll have a big number In the middle where it says 0%, it'll say 72, or it'll say 85, or it'll say 98. Or for some of the DAs, it'll say 27.
Oh my God.
Okay? Even though I give you 45 points on each test, I still have 27s. I give you the bonus questions, which are 3 points apiece. I usually give you 15, so that's usually about 45 points. Sometimes I give you 50 or 60 points, and I still get people make 27s.
What?
It's called live PD.
That makes me cry.
Show calculation. Why do you use show calculation? Because the first thing the person asks when they say, where do I find my grade, they'll call me back or email me back and say, well, how did you get that? 1, you need to read your syllabus. 2, you've forgotten the 3 bonus questions or the 4 bonus questions that I told you. How is your grade weighted in this Hubert's class? You're going to see that in just a minute. And 3, you didn't hit show calculation. Show calculation shows you how it came about doing the calculation of your grade. Now, how does it know this? Well, I'm going to show you how it knows it. You go down, well, you're not going to see this, but course tools for the teacher, grade book. This is my grade book. Change weights. How much is your homework counting for the whole class? This is a class grade book. 20%. How much does your test count? It goes through and it weights all your homework and all your tests. Okay? So, little one of them's off. I think that's supposed to be a 20. There's a 5 that needs to be changed, but I'm not going to change it right now. Okay? So, it knows that. So, when it spits out your grade, it has already what?
Calculated.
It has already calculated it. So, I don't need to know. I don't need any emails that say, what's my grade?
How'd you get that?
Yeah, how'd you get that? So, here is the test. I don't know if we went over the test or not. If we did, great. We're going to go over it again. Let me go to the test. Course assignment manager. They don't show up on yours yet because what? We haven't even started yet. So you don't need to see it. But I'm going to show you what the test looks like. And if I've shown you the test, then we're just going to go over it again. All right? No, edit. I don't want to edit. I want to preview. Just give me a second, please. Preview. Now, I will go over, and I'm trying to tell all my students this, okay? Let's say I give you a chapter test with 10 problems on it. 10 problems. I'm going to minimize this so I can see everybody a little bit better. Oh, that didn't do much, did it? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Oconee campus. Because evidently that person has flew the coop. Okay. If I give you a test with 10 questions on it, each of those 10 questions is going to pull from 10 or 15 questions for it. Does everybody understand that? If I give you a 10-question test online, then each one of those questions are pulling from 10 to 15 questions designed for that one question. So what does that mean? That means no test is going to be what? The same.
The same.
I algorithmically generate all my questions. What does that mean? Well, let's say that Miss Smith pulls up a question number 1 on the first test, and it says, solve 2x is equal to 4. On the next one, on the next Form B, or the second attempt, she may see that question as number 6, and it may say 5x is equal to 10. Algorithmically generates means that the question is going to say the same thing, but it's going to have different what?
Numbers.
Different numbers. I also reorder the test order. So that means your number 1, you could be taking a test beside Miss Smith. Your number 1 may look like Miss Smith's number 15 or number 10. Okay? And all of those questions are not coming from one question. Number 1 may be pulling from 10 or 15 different questions out of 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then I could be setting the second question coming from 1.4 and 1.5, and then I could be setting the third question to 2.1, fourth question to 2.2, fifth question to 2.5 to 2.7. I could be pulling from several different sections, okay? So if there's anybody that thinks I'm stupid enough to put up this test thinking that, oh, he's going to give us that test for the first unit, you are sadly mistaken. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that stupid. I may be stupid in some areas, but I'm not stupid enough to put the same questions and tests in the same order and the same format as your first unit test. I'm not going to do that. All right? Each test will have 15 bonus questions on them. I don't know if I told y'all this. If I did, think of it as stalling so we can start math next week, okay? But they will have 15. Now this test has what? It has 25 questions on it, 26. So that means each one is what? 4 points apiece, not 3 points apiece. So therefore, I'm giving you a 60 on this test. I still have people fail my class.
They must be.
At least 5 out of 15 fail my class. All right, that's the question about the weights. Which one is it? It's A. Why is it A? Because it's the only one that equals 100%. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? He takes the highest of what? The highest grade. I take the highest grade and I drop the lowest 2. How many times do I give you to take the test? I give you 3 attempts. I give you 7 days to take the test. Why do I give you 3 attempts and 7 days? Because some students can break an amble with a banana. All right? Some students can find a way to miss a test. How do I know that? This semester, summer semester, I had a student miss 2 unit tests. How do you miss a unit test when you have a week to do it and you have 3 tries to do each test? And then I give you a week at the end of the semester to finish up any incomplete test or improve any or homework or assignment or better improve a test score by taking the second test and not taking the first score. How do you miss a test in my class? You don't. Okay? Unless you're one of them live PD people that shouldn't procreate or have a driver's license. Okay? I'm serious. Have y'all ever watched live PD? Oh my God. You need to watch live PD. There are people on there that you will not believe how stupid they are. I'm serious. That you would not believe. I mean, it makes Anderson look like Princeton. All right. I'm from Anderson. I can say that. I'm born and raised in Anderson, so I can say that. All right. There's a math question. Some of y'all are like, what's he talking about? You need to wake up. There's a math question. Dang old sketching, dang old graph. All right? In your grade book, find to find your final grade, you hit overall grade. We've already covered that.
Yep.
And see, one of the reasons I covered these twice, and I made somebody tell me, did I cover this with y'all? Good, because I'm covering it twice in all my classes. I'm covering it twice because I'm going to have somebody email me or email my department head at the end of the semester. Notice I said somebody. You know how many students I've got? I've got 7 classes with 30 in each. I got 200 students. I'm going to have one student call my department head and say I didn't cover this information. That's why. Okay, so that's why I'm covering some of these questions over and over. And I'm covering today, I'm backing it up with my presentation of the MyLabs Plus homework, how many times I give you the test, where to find the test, and all that good stuff. I'm trying to cover my backside for that one DA that's going to call and say I didn't cover it, I didn't do it. Although covered in the handouts, this is the newest question. I don't know if I told you this or not, but this is the student that said that I tried to email Hubert and he didn't email me back. And she tried to blame missing 2 tests on me. And it didn't work. My department head said pretty much that she didn't have a leg to stand on. Because my department head said I'm one of the most lenient teachers that she has. And I am. When it comes to taking tests and assignments, I'm one of the most lenient. So if you go to my department head and say, well, I didn't have a chance to do this in Hubert's class, if she doesn't laugh in your face, she's going to make a face because she's going to know that's BS. All right? Although covered in the handouts in the first day of class by Hubert, what is the best way to communicate with Hubert? I like carrier pigeon, but we'll take cell phone. All right? Now, this is no joke. This morning, a student, I might have said this. I can't remember what I say today, but I might have said it at the beginning of the class, or I might have said it in the 9 o'clock class. This morning, a student called me and said, I need to meet you, or I said, I'll be at the thing at 9 o'clock. You can't do that via email. Why?
Because you don't check the emails.
Because the email doesn't work like the text messages do. Okay? Now, I have it set up to go to my email account, and sometimes it will say, you have a work email. That means it's a Tri-County Tech email. Sometimes it says you have a Gmail. That means it's home. I don't answer it. Okay? But when I have but sometimes those work emails don't come through because Tri-County Tech is so T-Rex. All right? It's so, sometimes it takes a while. So if you need to meet me at 9 o'clock at the Anderson campus, you don't need to send it email. You need to send it text. That way I get it and I say, okay, I'll be there at 9 o'clock. I met her in the lab. We fixed her problem, which was one of these problems I showed you. And boom, it was over with. This person didn't do that. This person tried to use email as an excuse, and it didn't work. Okay? Use the cell phone. That's what it's for. Don't call me if you're in jail, because I ain't going to bail you out. All right. When is the last day of the semester? The only one it can be. That number right there. That's one of the things that we have to do because people ask those questions all the time. What should a student do if something happens spring semester, last semester? In fact, this was probably one of your classes. Didn't you take it last spring? When did you take it?
Last
spring. Last spring, one of my 120 students. You took 120, didn't you?
I took your statistics.
Yeah, 120. She went on a cruise. Not her. Okay? But I think it was a student in your class. She went on a cruise. When did she tell me? After grade turn-in. I'm not going to say anything more about that. If you call me after grade turn-in, first of all, you ain't going to get a response. So you might as well call my department head. Go ahead and call her, and then try to explain that you missed a unit test in my class. Okay, so it's going to be communication. There we go. And enjoy your cruise. Math question. Math question. Math question. When does the homework terminate? Now, there's two or three pieces of information right here that I go over again. What tells you that we're at the end of a unit?
A unit test?
No. What tells you that we are getting toward the end of a unit?
The due date of homework.
We went over it. I told you it was the most important page in the handouts.
Oh,
it's called the outline. The outline. Everybody get that sheet of paper. It's the outline. If you don't have that outline printed out, don't come up to me and ask me, what are we doing next Friday? I have no idea, because that's what I'll say. Because you know what we're doing. If it's, I'm sorry, before somebody, we don't have any class on Friday. Somebody's going to say that. What are we doing next Tuesday? Well, if I cover 5.6 today, and your outline says we cover 5.7, then chances are I'm going to cover 5.7 Tuesday. You don't need to ask me. And plus, you have the video to go to when I put it up. So, don't ask those questions, because that's telling me that, one, you didn't print out the outline, and two, you're not utilizing the videos that I put up on YouTube. So what are you hanging around your neck? You're hanging around your neck a sign that says, I don't listen to what you say. Capiche? So that would be toward the end of the unit. When is the week of finals? The only one date that works. Math question. Why does Hubert not entertain bonus points? Because he awards me points. I'm giving you 60 points on this one. I need to change it. I need to put some more questions on there. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased, that means you've had zeros put in. Russia too. You can put Russia. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? No, I haven't even said anything about that. Math question. Math question. What is Hubert's email address and cell number? It's the only one that makes sense. If you have an incomplete assignment and Hubert puts a 0 in for the grade, what will that do to your grade? I actually had a student to say, well, I didn't know a 0 would make your grade go down. So that's what I have to deal with. Math question. If you miss a question on a test and believe it is correct, what would you do? Now, let me talk about this for a second, because this is another information question. The only thing you need to really contact me about on my cell phone is something that is a direct emergency. 2 emergencies are you going to be out of class for more than a week. Two meetings. Okay? Coinciding, right after consecutive. If you're going to be out for a week or more, then you need to let me know. That's an emergency. Okay? Not after grade turn-in. It doesn't work that way. Before or during. Why I say during? Because some of you don't know you're going to have a wreck. Some of you don't know you're going to have car trouble. Some of you don't know that you're going to have a family death. Okay? So that's as soon as you know, or before, like if you're going on a cruise or you got a field trip with your high school or whatever the case may be. Because I do teach dual enrollment classes. All right? The second thing is, okay, those are the 2 things. Those are the 2 things. The second thing is, if something happens during a test, legitimate, okay? I hear all kinds of excuses about my grandmother died, the cat ate the keyboard, all this stuff. I hear all that. But let's say that you actually do, let's say that Mr. Smith is sitting at home doing his test and something happens to his computer, really, legitimately. And he goes back and tries to go on his first attempt and it says incomplete. Then he needs to text me as soon as that happens so I can reset it. I'll have to delete that test because it's incomplete. When you get an incomplete beside a MyLabs Plus, you need to write this down. If you get an incomplete beside a test, and that's because something happened to your server or your, router, or your online, or your computer locks down, and you go back into your test and it says incomplete, there is no way to fix that unless I delete the test. And you need to let me know that ASAP so you can take advantage of the 3 times to take the test. I don't mind doing that. The only way that MyLabs Plus will put an incomplete beside your test is if they cannot fix it. And if they can't fix it, guess what? I can't, so I have to delete it. And the only way that they can't fix it is if something abruptly disconnects your service, meaning the computer locks down, the internet service provider, something goes haywire with it, or something goes haywire with MyLabs Plus and they can't fix it. And they'll put incomplete beside your test. Okay? So those are the 2 emergencies. Now what in the heck does that have to do with this question? This question is not an emergency. Look at the question. It says, Hubert, I want to challenge a question on a test. Oh, I need to call him 5 or 6 times before the next time we meet. No, you don't. You just need to see me after class. Hubert, I need to tell you that I'm going to be gone. That's fine. You can tell me before or after class. You can tell me, Hubert, if you need to leave before class is over, you don't need to tell me that, okay? You don't need to ask permission. Just quietly get up and leave. I would like to know, make sure I didn't offend you in any way, because, everybody's being offended these days, but I probably done offended somebody this whole week. I guarantee you I've offended somebody. Anybody want to take a bet on it? But emergencies are those 2 emergencies. Other than that, you can see me before or after class. Everybody agree with that? I'm pretty lenient. I'm not. I got my 3 students here. Am I dictatorial in any way? Am I unfair? They said no. Y'all can't hear them, but they said no. And I got one Pendleton student that had me online class, correct?
Yep.
Was I mean to you? No. Okay, no, yeah. Y'all need to get alive up there. What is it with y'all? Dadgum, I'm stressing myself out over here. Y'all look like y'all hate this class. Don't hate it, okay?
They look dead.
Yeah, I mean, look at Easley. Hey, I got them to laugh. Look, they laugh. Well, look at it. They covered it up real quick. Look, they covered up their mouths like this. Pendleton, I don't think Pendleton, I can help Pendleton. I really don't. They look like they hate life. Okay. Come on, guys, smile. It's a beautiful day, okay?
The sun is shining.
All right, anyway, ask Schubert to meet after class. Trying to have some fun. Everybody's looking like they're winged on a pickle. All right. Here we go with another math question. They won't even laugh at winged on a pickle. Winged on a lemon, maybe? Okay, she's yawning. I saw that. You're bored, aren't you? I'm going to pick on y'all until y'all start interacting and smiling, okay? So just go with it.
Statues.
All right. If a student, hey, look, they made the camera moved. That means they made a noise. Way to go, Pendleton.
You spoke!
Way to go. All right. The student does not complete a homework assignment or test. What grade will be recorded? Okay, that's pretty simple. That's not information. That's pretty simple. Now, look at here. I don't know if I answered all the bonus questions, but if you do answer all the bonus questions, you make a 61. So you can actually, theoretically, you can make a D average on the test and not even do any math. I still have F's. Okay? So, not only is the test informative as far as the math, a lot of you say, there's somebody out there saying, well, he only gave 10 math questions. Well, what test is this? What test is this?
Algebra
Review. I only need to put 10 questions on it to see if you know what the hell you're doing. And I don't mean to sound, it's a review. All I need to do is put 5 or 10 questions on there and I can ascertain whether you need to be in this class or not. I don't need to put 33 math questions. I only need to put 10. Golly, I like the way that you work. I didn't realize that. That's why you're not teaching. Okay. Who's got a question on the test or the homework or My Labs Plus? Anybody got any questions? All right. Nobody's got any questions, any concerns at all, because next week we're going into math. And we're not going to be going into My Labs Plus questions, and we're not going to be going into class questions. We're going into math. So if you've got a question, you better ask it now. But I just did an exceptional job covering this material, didn't I?
Yep.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, you're basically giving us the answers.
Well, I'm giving you the answers to the bonus questions.
Yeah,
But still, people are going to miss them. All right, Orocho. Bennett. Gillespie. Hither. Call me Hither. Lee is here. Lindsay. McGahey. Nettles. Reese. Shingleton. Do not leave. I want to go over 2 or 3 things before you leave. Arblaster.
Here.
Cody.
Here.
Doug. Sexton. Swords. Here. Hey, I thought y'all said y'all had 4.
I do.
Okay, somebody didn't. I didn't call their name.
I don't think he heard you.
Yeah, I didn't hear you, sir.
Okay, Sexton or Doug?
Sexton is here. Sexton is here.
You're going to fail this class, Mr. Sexton. You might as well just give it up. All right, Armstrong.
Here.
Bitely.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Carlin.
Here.
Cunningham. Here. Okay, we're gonna go over two things. All right. We are dealing with a Polycom system here, okay? We are not sitting beside you. When I call your name, I need to hear volume and I need to hear enunciation. This is what I don't need to hear. Okay? I've heard two, Now what is Okay, I want to hear here. I know some smart aleck. I shouldn't have said that. I know which one it is. I know which one's going to do it too. So I'm just waiting and see. I'm going to see if I'm right. Evans.
Here.
That's a good one. Gusmus.
Here.
Labiner.
Here.
Lofton.
Here.
I was expecting you would do it louder than that, but I was expecting you, but you did good. Knits. Is
Here.
that Knights or Knits?
Knits.
Is it Knits? Okay. Is that German?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to say, sir. I work for a living. Rudiger, you're there.
Here.
Cheer up. Life will go on. Santana Flores.
Here.
I like that name. Santana Flores. It sounds like some kind of general. All right. I'm going to try this again. Schaefer.
Schaffer.
Schaffer. I suck. All right. Any questions? There's two things that you need to do. You can stay after if you have any questions. Two things. Get your access code. Get on My Labs Plus. The other things, notebook, pencil, colored pencils, and your calculator. Anybody got any questions? Hang tight. The rest of y'all have a good weekend. Mountain Dew. Make sure you drink Mountain Dew before you come to class. Okay?
Be both. It would be both. For it to be on the board as well.
You know,
Okay with it.
Easily, Mountain Dew.
And then you start talking like
Make sure you're drinking Mountain Dew before or during class.
I guess first thing.
Okay, y'all have a good day. Nobody's got any questions. I'm going to cut her off.
Watch me out.
Yes.